Unitree's G1 is already out in the wild. Figure 03 is doing real work in real factories. And while the rest of the world waits on Optimus Gen 3, Elon Musk says it's real and it's coming sooner than expected. Humanoid robots are finally moving from promises to real production, and Tesla is leading that shift with Optimus Gen 3. This robot is not just another upgrade. Its hand design alone solves one of the hardest problems in robotics. Inside, a new AI system allows it to learn tasks by watching humans and adapting in real time. Its mobility, efficiency, and full-day operation are pushing it closer to becoming a real workforce machine. And now, Tesla is transforming factories and betting its entire future on scaling this robot to millions. Let's start with what actually makes Optimus Gen 3 different, because this is where things begin to change in a serious way. For years, humanoid robots have faced one of the most difficult engineering problems in the entire field, and that problem is the hand. While most attention usually goes to walking or artificial intelligence, the real challenge has been building a robotic hand that can match human dexterity while still being practical to manufacture at scale. Elon Musk has described the hand as the majority of the engineering difficulty of the entire robot. Human hands have around 27 to 28 degrees of freedom, controlled through a dense tendon system that mostly runs from the forearm. So recreating that level of precision in a mass-producible robot has been incredibly hard. Optimus Gen 3 directly targets that problem with a completely new approach. The hand features 22 degrees of freedom, powered by a tendon-driven system that closely mirrors how human hands actually function. Instead of placing heavy motors inside the hand, Tesla moved those actuators into the forearm, reducing weight and improving precision. Each finger is controlled through flexible cables that run from the forearm, pass through the wrist, and connect to the finger segments, allowing independent and controlled movement. The wrist design is where things become even more advanced. The cables transition from a horizontal layout in the forearm to a vertical structure inside the hand through a specialized routing system. This reduces friction, stretch, and crosstalk, where one finger movement interferes with another. By solving this, the hand achieves smooth and controlled motion across multiple axes. Combined with around 50 actuators across the hand and forearm system, this represents a massive leap in complexity compared to earlier versions, but it is also built for manufacturing at scale, not just demonstration. What if a robot hand becomes more precise than your own? Would you trust it with delicate tasks around you? Tell me below in the comments. This level of precision allows the robot to perform extremely delicate tasks. The hand can reach accuracy levels as fine as 0.08 millimeters, making it capable of handling fragile objects, sorting materials, and performing over 3,000 different tasks across both home and industrial environments. This is the point where the robot shifts from being a technical demo to something that can actually work. Once the hardware reaches this level, the next question becomes intelligence, and this is where Optimus Gen 3 starts behaving very differently from traditional robots. Instead of relying on pre-programmed instructions, the robot uses a vision-based AI system built on Tesla's full self-driving architecture. It processes input from 8 cameras, builds a real-time 3D understanding of its environment, and makes decisions using an end-to-end neural network. The way it learns is also fundamentally different. Optimus Gen 3 is trained using a sim-to-real pipeline, where it practices tasks millions of times in simulation before applying them in the real world. It can also learn by observing humans, watching how a task is performed, and then replicating it. This imitation learning approach allows the robot to expand its capabilities without needing manual programming. When something goes wrong, the system does not stop and wait for instructions. It adapts. If a grasp fails or a movement is slightly off, the robot corrects itself in real time. This ability to adjust is what moves it closer to being a general-purpose system rather than a fixed-function machine. With voice interaction integrated into Tesla's AI ecosystem, it can also respond to spoken commands, making interaction more natural. All of this leads to real-world capability. Optimus Gen 3 is designed as a general-purpose robot, meaning it is not limited to a single task. In factories, it can handle repetitive work like material movement, sorting, and assembly assistance. In homes, it is being developed to perform everyday tasks like cleaning, carrying objects, and assisting with basic activities. The goal is to create a robot that can operate across different environments without needing major changes. Its physical performance supports that vision. The robot can move at speeds of around 10 to 12 kilometers per hour and weighs about 57 kilograms, making it lighter and more efficient than previous versions. Improved sensors help maintain balance on uneven terrain, and the battery is designed to support a full day of operation, allowing it to function through an entire work cycle. But the biggest shift is not just in capability, it is in production. In January 2026, Tesla officially began mass production of Optimus Gen 3 at its Fremont factory. At the same time, the company made a major decision that signals its long-term direction. Tesla is phasing out the Model S and Model X production lines to make room for robot manufacturing. This is not a small change. It is a clear shift from cars to robotics. The same factory that once produced Tesla's flagship vehicles is now being restructured to build humanoid robots at scale. Tesla is also preparing additional production capacity through its global network, including expansion potential in Shanghai and dedicated robotics lines in Texas. This creates a multi-site manufacturing strategy designed specifically for scaling robot production. Tesla is literally replacing car production with robot production. Do you think this is the right move or too risky? Share your thoughts in the comments. This move shows that Tesla is no longer treating humanoid robots as an experiment. It is treating them as its next major product category. That connects directly to Elon Musk's long-term vision. He has described Optimus as the most advanced robot in the world and believes it will have a massive impact on productivity and the global economy. He has also suggested that future versions could move toward artificial general intelligence, meaning a system capable of performing a wide range of tasks at human-level capability or beyond. These claims are ambitious, but they show how central Optimus has become to Tesla's strategy. The robot is no longer a side project. It is becoming the core focus. When you combine this vision with production plans, the scale becomes critical. Tesla is targeting long-term production of up to 1 million robots per year. Early production will start smaller, with tens of thousands of units annually, mainly deployed inside Tesla factories. This allows the company to refine the system using real-world data before expanding outward. The pricing strategy is what makes this even more disruptive. Tesla is aiming for a cost between $20,000 and $30,000 per robot. That places it in the range of an economy car, but with the ability to perform thousands of tasks. Compared to other humanoid robots that cost over $100,000, this significantly changes the market. The rollout strategy is gradual. First, internal deployment, then industrial use, and eventually, broader commercial and home applications. This step-by-step approach allows Tesla to scale while improving reliability. At the same time, it is important to stay realistic about where things stand. Optimus Gen 3 is still in a refinement phase. The robot can walk, lift objects, and perform structured tasks, but full autonomy in unpredictable environments is still being developed. Tesla has also faced challenges in scaling production and building a supply chain for complex components like the 50 actuator hand system. So this is not a finished product yet, but it does not change the importance of what is happening. For the first time, a humanoid robot has been designed, engineered, and manufactured with large-scale production as the main goal. This marks a shift away from experimental prototypes toward real-world deployment. Elon Musk says robots could impact the entire economy. Do you think this is realistic or overhyped? Tell me below in the comments. For decades, humanoid robots stayed limited to controlled demonstrations. But that phase is now transitioning into real-world use where these systems are expected to perform meaningful work. Optimus Gen 3 represents that shift from concept to workforce. And once that transition begins, it tends to accelerate as improvements in hardware, intelligence, and manufacturing start building on each other. What we are seeing right now is not just another step forward in robotics. It is the beginning of an entirely new category of machines entering real-world environments and becoming part of everyday operations. And this is only the start, because Tesla is not the only company pushing this forward. China is no longer testing humanoid robots in slow, controlled environments where every movement is predictable. These robots are now being pushed into extreme physical scenarios where balance, impact, and full-body coordination are tested under real conditions. What we are seeing is not just progress in robotics, but a shift toward performance, where robots are expected to handle motion, force, and instability at levels that were not possible before. And right now, 2 humanoid robots are showing how far this shift has already gone. One of the clearest examples of this shift comes from a training video where a humanoid robot launches into a full aerial spin, rotates mid-air, and strikes a suspended watermelon with a clean, targeted kick before landing back on its feet without losing balance. This is not a slow or carefully staged setup designed to make the movement look easy. This robot is the Unitree H2, developed by Unitree Robotics, a Hangzhou-based company focused on advancing high-performance humanoid robots. The entire sequence happens at full speed, where even a small error in timing, force, or positioning could cause the robot to lose stability. The watermelon itself is not just a visual prop. It serves as a precise target that forces the robot to align its body, calculate distance and motion, and deliver force at the exact moment of contact. What allows it to execute this kind of movement is its ability to coordinate multiple joints across its body in real time, adjust posture while airborne, and stabilize instantly after impact, showing that the robot is actively controlling its entire body under extreme dynamic conditions. Around the same time, another humanoid robot from China went viral for a completely different reason. In a series of clips, the robot is seen performing flying kicks, striking objects with force, and moving with a level of speed and impact that made many people believe the footage was not real. This robot is the T800, developed by Engine AI, a Shenzhen-based company focused on high-performance humanoid systems. The movements looked too sharp, too aggressive, and too controlled under impact, which is why the internet quickly started calling it CGI, or digitally enhanced. But instead of responding with explanations or technical breakdowns, the company chose to prove it in the most direct way possible. In a follow-up demonstration, the company's founder and CEO, Zhao Tongyang, stepped in front of the robot wearing protective padding and allowed it to deliver a controlled kick that visibly pushed him across the room, with the robot remaining stable immediately after the strike. What allows the T800 to deliver this kind of performance is its ability to generate high torque through its joints, maintain stability during aggressive actions, and recover balance instantly after impact, showing that the robot is not just moving fast, but actively controlling force and motion under real-world conditions. Which moment shocked you more, the H2's precision kick or the T800's real impact test? Tell me below in the comments. After seeing both of these demonstrations, the difference between the two robots becomes clear. The Unitree H2 focuses on maintaining control during complex and fast movements, where balance and coordination are constantly being adjusted in real time. When it performs spins, martial arts sequences, or even runway-style walking beside humans, the emphasis is on stability and precision. The movements feel smooth and deliberate, as if every part of the body is working together to maintain control even when the robot is pushed into unstable positions. The T800 moves in a completely different way. Its actions are not designed to look smooth or controlled in the same sense. Instead, they are built around generating force and handling impact. When it performs a kick or a jump, the movement is direct and aggressive, focused on delivering power rather than maintaining flow. What stands out is how quickly it stabilizes itself after each action, showing that the robot is designed to handle high-energy motion and recover instantly without losing balance. These differences come directly from how each robot is built and how each company chooses to test that robot in public. In the case of the unit tree H2, the goal is to show that it can stay controlled through movements that would normally throw a humanoid robot off balance. That is why Unit Tree has pushed the H2 through ballet-inspired spins, martial arts routines, runway walking, and then more extreme performances like its Spring Festival Gala appearance. There, the H2 stood out for how naturally it handled high-difficulty sequences tied to coordination, rhythm, and precise body control. The robot was even presented in a Sword Grandmaster role, reflecting its ability to execute controlled movement under pressure. The reason the H2 can do this is its strong joint flexibility, motion control, and full body coordination, which allow it to keep adjusting posture in real time during fast and unstable movement. The T800 is built around a different idea of power, and that difference shows up clearly in the way Engine A presents it. While Unitree uses the H2 to demonstrate fluidity and control, Engine AI pushes the T800 into performances that feel aggressive, impact-heavy, and almost combat-driven. The robot has been shown throwing flying kicks, breaking through obstacles, sparring in demonstrations, and even kicking its own CEO to shut down CGI claims. That kind of presentation only works if the robot can generate real force and then recover instantly after contact. Its high-torque joints provide the explosive power behind those movements, while its endurance-focused design allows it to repeat them without quickly losing stability. So where the H2 proves control through difficult motion, the T800 proves power through high-impact action. The intelligence behind the Unit Tree H2 is focused on full-body coordination rather than assistant-style AI. Instead of relying on conversational models, the robot is built around real-time motion control systems that combine sensor data with internal body feedback to continuously adjust balance and positioning. This becomes critical in performances like the Spring Festival Martial Arts Showcase, where timing, rhythm, and coordination must remain consistent even during high-speed movement. The goal is not to make the robot respond with words, but to make it move with control that feels stable, precise, and human-like. What matters more to you, a robot that moves perfectly, or a robot that can handle extreme impact? Comment below and let me know. The T800 takes a different approach, where intelligence is centered around fast environmental reaction and physical decision-making under impact. It uses a combination of LiDAR, vision systems, and onboard compute to process its surroundings in real time and adjust its actions instantly. This allows the robot to handle aggressive movements like kicks, turns, and collisions while staying stable without external intervention. The focus here is not on smooth coordination, but on making sure the robot can react quickly, maintain balance after force, and continue operating in unpredictable, high-intensity situations. When you look at where these robots are heading, the difference becomes practical. The Unitree H2 is moving toward environments where control, interaction, and stability are important, such as research and service roles where it operates closely with people. Its movement style is built to make it reliable in controlled settings where precision matters. The T800 is being developed for environments where strength and endurance are more important, including industrial work, logistics, and physically demanding tasks. Its ability to generate force and sustain performance makes it suitable for situations where physical output is the priority. What makes this moment important is not just the capabilities of these two robots, but what they represent together.